Blessed greetings, magical creatures. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this video is going to address all the frequently asked questions about my magical treatments, specifically the ones that I will be uploading after this video onwards. So first and foremost, a disclaimer. I am not a doctor or a qualified medical professional of any kind, and my treatments are not a substitute for professional medical help, advice, treatment, therapy, counseling, medications, etc. I always encourage you to seek professional advice and to always use my treatments as supportive aids and not replacements for professional medical treatment or advice. Question 1. Are you really a witch? And is this content evil or dark in nature? Do you work with the devil or summon demons? Now, as a former Christian, I wholeheartedly understand why people may have these kinds of concerns. This is because of largely false fear-based teachings that go all the way back to even before the burning times or the quote-unquote witch trials era. So let me start by addressing the first question, which is yes, I do identify as a witch. But what you have to understand is the term witch is an umbrella term for a countless number of groups and individuals with different beliefs and practices, much in the same way that Christian is an umbrella term for different denominations, beliefs, and even interpretations of the Bible, etc. I'd also like to point out that there are some people today that do not practice any form of traditional witchcraft or folk rituals, ceremonial magic, etc., but who still identify and or refer to themselves as a witch or witches as a way of identifying themselves as manifestors or someone with the belief that they can purposefully affect or change their reality with their mind or energy. So let's be honest here, there aren't many words out there that exist for this sort of thing. So it's no wonder people would turn to the archetype of witch. And in this way you can see just how big of an umbrella term witch really is. Also, as a friend of mine recently pointed out to someone on my channel, spells and witch are terms that can be equally exchanged with terms like energy work and manifester, for example. It's basically just how you label it, perceive it, and manifest it. So to cut a long story short, let me just describe the type of witch I am, or at least the type of witch I have pursued being and continue to pursue being. And that for me is the OG, the original witch. The vulva, the staff carrier, the mystic, the witch doctor, the shaman, God's hand, the mother of tribes. Shamanic type witch is the oldest witch to our known histories. This was not a green woman with warts flying around on a broomstick eating children. These were the leaders of tribes. They were the ones who walked between worlds. They were the voices of God, charged with evolving humanity. Within tribes of old, they could do it all. With the help of their abilities, they were doctors, psychiatrists, counselors, and healers. But they were also teachers, judges, leaders, elders, and even battle strategists. They brought balance, wisdom, and guidance. And yes, they were oftentimes also prophets, seers, diviners, and could make things happen. But what you have to understand is that these people were pretty woke, super empathic, and highly tuned into spirit. And as anyone who is highly woke and empathic will tell you, the more you wake up in that way, the more sensitive and empathic you become. And the more sensitive and empathic you become, the more wisdom you obtain. Why? Because being a sensitive and an empath is the ability to tune in, to feel and sense outside of the limited human sensory range and perspective, and to be able to see from all sides of every situation. Now, when you start to perceive this way, all the pettiness of the world begins to fall away. Things like forgiveness become really easy because you can see beyond action to the why and the root of people's choices, often fear. This is also why empaths are usually the wisest people in the room, because it takes being able to see and choosing to see from a perspective outside of your own that you then obtain or are able to obtain the full picture. True wisdom can never be harnessed from a single slice of perspective. Essentially, when you are operating empathically on this level, you cannot help but become a better person, a good, kind, compassionate person who desires to help and heal and do no harm, because you understand that harming others is only you harming yourself. So as someone who has been previously sold out to the Christian God for half my life, but who has since embraced being the type of witch I mentioned above, I have the unique opportunity of being able to see things from both perspectives. And I assure you that none of my content is dark or evil. I do not believe in the devil, so no, I do not work with any devils or dark demonic beings of any kind. And while I may work with and honor spirit guides, angels, sometimes crossed over loved ones, my higher self, and other high vibrational beings, I do not worship them, and I do not submit myself beneath the will of any being other than myself, for that matter. The spirits I do work with are also only those approved of by my higher self, and most are already those in service to humanity, like angels or guides. Everything I do comes from a pure and loving desire to help and bring about positive and empowering changes for your betterment. I have always had a heart to help people ever since I was a child. It comes naturally from a truly empathic heart, and I think especially when you yourself have suffered within your own life circumstances, as I have in my own past. Essentially, I'm a witch doctor, a kind of shaman or shamanic practitioner. I'm an energy healer, a channel, a sensitive, an intuitive, a psychic, a medium. I'm a go-between, a middleman between you and spirit, including between you and your own spirit. I'm a manifester and a magical practitioner. The healing and magic I practice specifically are from my own developed methods and modalities. The bottom line is, I'm someone who genuinely strives to be a good person, to help others in my own way. I'm highly empathic, and it is because of this empathy that I desire to help humanity and my fellow magical folk. I identify with all the lovely and empowering aspects of the archetype witch and even sorceress. And in my own way, I legitimately desire to return the wonder and power of magic back to disempowered communities and people who need it and who are seeking it. Question 2. Is this real magic? The answer is yes. This is absolutely real magic. Question 3. How do you make your treatments? So to start, I always work through my higher self together with your higher self. And what this does is it ensures natural wards of protection for both parties. For you, this ensures that nothing is done or undone or allowed unless your higher self approves, ensuring that you are always safe and protected. Then each working/treatment starts with a creation space. This is a protected space I create outside of time, and within it, I ground the working/treatment/magic, and this allows for a protected space where only approved spirits can come in and assist each individual uniquely. The actual working is hard to explain and will be different for each topic. Typically, for the most part, what I do is encode the space energetically with whatever is required to fulfill the intention, including the reprogramming of your mind, which you would usually do with manifestation techniques or subliminals, etc. After I give you the incantation on these treatments, what you will hear is me using my voice and body to channel energy. This is commonly referred to as light language, though some also refer to it as witch tongue or speaking in tongues. Whatever you call it, it is the oldest healing and energy work modality we know of, and was of course fully embraced and birthed into the world by shamans and spiritual healers since the earliest days. I usually record multiple layers of vocals, but usually only leave one track that's audible. The rest of the layers of audio tracks I set to a frequency you can't audibly hear, but your mind still registers, like a silent subliminal. This is just so the track doesn't sound like a mess when you listen to it, and so that I can fit all the audio neatly into a 5-minute track. So when you put this all together, you could think of it like a bubble or a pod filled with charged water. Once you speak the incantation or willingly choose to engage with the treatment, you are immediately transported into this pod and submerged in that charged water where both spirit and the treatment can take effect neatly, safely, and effectively, free from any outside chaos or influence. The incantation you are given to repeat is a channeled spell and key. This key will grant you immediate access to this timeless space, as well as align you to the intention and the working. By speaking the incantation, you are also giving your consent to access the full treatment. Essentially, speaking the incantation, or saying it out loud in your head, or giving consent in your own words, is like putting a plug in a socket. You are plugging yourself directly into this pod and power source to receive that flow of encoded electricity, power, and change in consciousness. Question 4. How do I use a treatment track? So step 1, I'm going to say, is to decide to take it seriously and to commit to trusting the treatment long enough to get your results. Step 2. Play the track and repeat the incantation to the best of your ability. A side note here, you do not need to repeat the incantation every single time you listen to a treatment. Once is enough. After that, you can repeat it once a day or once every other day if you feel that you do need to just refresh. Go with what feels right for you. As an example, if you have a track set to repeat while you sleep, say the incantation once and then leave the track to repeat at a low volume while you sleep. Step 3. This is where the magic really begins to happen. So, to the best of your ability, this is where I want you to relax and allow. Because as the rest of the track plays, this is your window to marinate in the magic. Question 5. Do these treatments actually work? My treatments are 100% effective from my end. I have no desire to go through all this trouble and do all this work just to waste both your time and mine. Question 6. Is there a chance your treatments won't work for me? The only way these treatments will not work for you is if you purposefully mentally block or restrict them. If you think that this is a joke, for example, if you are highly skeptical, or if you are only here to prove my treatments don't work, you will likely reap weak results. To quote Aunt Jet Owens in the movie Practical Magic, she says, and this is what comes from dabbling. I mean, you can't practice magic while you look down your nose at it. You have to sit up, pay attention, and take this as seriously as you would treatment prescribed by a doctor or a specialist, and you need to give it the same level of trust and time it needs to work. You see, you have two choices. You can either try to manifest what you want, or you can allow me to do it for you. Essentially, that's why you're here. You want something and you don't know how to give it to yourself. My treatments do all the work for you. All the safety and protection, programming and reprogramming, connection to the highest and best energies, cleaning and clearing, all the magic, etc. All you have to do is give your consent by speaking the incantation, and then allow and persist. In other words, play the track, speak the incantation, relax, allow, and then continue to use the treatment until your desire fully realizes. It's that simple. You don't even have to believe. The treatment will reprogram your mind for you, but you have to take it seriously and give it the time it needs to break through. And try not to think against it working, because this will only slow down your results, and if you're not careful, could block your results entirely. Question 7. How often should I listen to a treatment track? Go with what feels right for you, but as a general guide, I would suggest something like the following. If, for example, you have a busy day, then when focusing on a single treatment, what you can do is, number 1, before bed, say the incantation and then let the treatment play on a loop in the background as you sleep. Then the following morning, say the incantation again and play the treatment at least once. Do this for at least 21 days or until you obtain your results. So then if you are using multiple treatments at once, and I want you to please note here that when you are using multiple treatments at the same time, results may be slower, then step 1, make sure that you have at some point set the incantation to each treatment in your playlist. Then play your playlist on a loop in the background as you sleep. Step 2, play them again in the morning. You can do this straight after you wake up, as you have breakfast, as you get ready for your day, etc. Do this for at least 21 days or until you obtain your results. Now again, this is just a basic guide. You can of course listen to the tracks whenever you get a chance, during the day, driving to work, it really doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you give your consent by using the incantation or using your own words to give consent. And number 2, listening to these tracks, and when you listen, relax and allow, because this allows you to naturally open up to receive. And then of course the last and most important thing is persistence, giving these treatments adequate time to work. Question 8. Why do you suggest I do this for 21 days? Because the biggest reason why things often take time is due to mental blocks. In other words, your mind, or rather what you choose to think, is the only thing that can prevent you from receiving. Part of the magic in these treatments includes helping to reprogram your paradigm/mental structure/belief system, and on many levels deep. So 21 days allows a good amount of time needed for the magic to do just that. And also, if you can commit to something long term, you're telling your brain that you mean business, and that will help your mind to sit up, pay attention, and take what you are doing seriously, which can, of course, help you obtain much faster results. Question 9. Is there a limit to how many treatments I can use? The answer is yes and no. It's going to depend on you. Technically, you can engage with as many treatments as you like, but don't overwhelm yourself. Also, if you start to feel scattered, or you start to feel like you're trying to manifest too many things at once, then listen to that inner intuition, or your mind will likely cut off the magic, or you will see spotty results. Question 10. What volume should the treatment track be? You can listen at any volume, loud, comfortable, low, or even muted. As long as you have said the incantation and the track is playing, you are tuning in. Energy doesn't need sound, and that goes for all my videos. However, do be careful of muting the tracks, because for some people, muting a track tells their brains that they aren't listening to anything, and can therefore block your results. This is why I will offer a 30-minute silent treatment with white noise in my store for each treatment. These work like silent subliminals. There is still audio, your ears can still hear it, but it's set to a frequency you can't perceive audibly, something like a dog whistle. This, along with the white noise, allows your brain to stay open and expectant even though the track is quiet and gentle. Question 11. Can I listen to a treatment while doing other things? Yes, you are welcome to play these tracks while you work, play, relax, meditate, visualize, watch movies or series, listen to music, exercise, etc. However, I will put a big warning here. These treatment tracks, especially the audible tracks, can lull you into a trance state and or make you sleepy. Therefore, I do not recommend listening to any of my treatments while driving, operating heavy or dangerous machinery, looking after small children, or doing anything that requires alert, focused attention. Question 12. How long will it take for me to begin to see results? This will vary from person to person because, as with everything, it depends on multiple different aspects, on multiple different levels, for multiple different reasons. You may see results immediately, overnight, or it may take longer, but try to commit to allowing yourself however long it takes to adjust, align, and allow your manifestation. Question 13. Can I still include my own magic or manifesting while working with your treatments? You are absolutely welcome to add your own unique magic. You can use visualization, vision boards, scripting, affirmations, spell work, etc., whatever your preferred method. Question 14. Can I use your treatments if I'm hearing impaired or if I cannot hear them at all? And will they still be as effective as hearing them? Yes, you can, and they are absolutely as effective. Instead of speaking the incantation, you can use your own words of consent and desire for the full treatment. Question 15. Can I or must I use earphones? Earphones or headphones are optional, and if you are listening via earphones, you are welcome to listen with only one earphone in as well. Question 16. Do I have to purchase your treatments? Some of my treatments will only be available in my store for purchase, but most of my treatments will be freely available here on YouTube. However, for each free track on YouTube, I will usually have a purchasable package in my store that will include the MP3 version of the YouTube video and two 30-minute silent white noise versions of the treatment, one with the incantation in the beginning and one without. Also remember, because of the law of giving and receiving, powerful magic happens when there is an exchange of energy. Money is just another form of energy. So when you sacrifice or give your money, even when you donate, you activate and receive the exchange of one energy for the other. And this creates a natural but powerful flow. When you pay for something, you also elevate its value in your mind, and this can help you get better results because of the way that your brain perceives that value. Question 17. Is there anything else I need to know? Stay hydrated. This kind of magic can be a little dehydrating at times, and treatments can work better when your body is properly hydrated. Also, stay as positive as you can about manifesting the results you want. Know that it is absolutely possible, and if you are using any of my treatments, then the results that you want are already playing out in your life. Then one last thing before you go. I'd like to leave you with some of my hard-earned, tried and tested wisdom, so to speak. I want you to remember the following. There are only ever two choices before you. Yes and no. What you want and what you don't want. It doesn't matter if you were given the worst diagnosis or how dire your situation is. It all comes down to those two same choices. What you want and what you don't want. And here is the wisdom. They are both on the same level playing field. One holds no more sway over the other. One holds no more weight than the other. One is no more likely or destined or inevitable than the other unless you decide it is so. See, once you fully understand that, you realize that you are the one who decides. Not destiny, not man, not God, not doctor, not age, not genetics, not biology or science, not any single law of the universe. You and only you. Oh, but you don't understand. I have stage 4 blah blah blah, and the doctor said blah blah blah, and it's genetic because my mother had blah blah blah. No, you decide. Stop right now. Let go of every thought, feeling, supposed truth and inevitability. Let it all go and choose option 2, what you want. Because whichever you choose to believe, assume and or allow, whichever you say yes to, will be created. Stop believing that you are helpless and at the mercy of A, B, C, D, etc. Because it's all a lie. There is only left or right. And whichever direction you choose is what is being created. So however seemingly impossible, start saying yes to what you want, starting right now. And I promise you that if you say yes and let go of all the rest, you will prove to yourself that not only are you able to steer your ship based on choice, but you will see how limitless you really are and how there is no such thing as impossible. So say yes, and whatever else comes at you that you don't want, diagnoses, negative thoughts, doubts, fears, etc., see them for what they truly are. Choices you don't ever have to choose. To these choices, you simply say no. And I mean this both figuratively and even literally. You can literally, actively, and even audibly start addressing the things in your life with a yes or a no as a way of kind of cleaning up your paradigm/belief structure and setting very clear intentions over your life. But more on magic and manifesting later. For now, I hope this finds you well, and if not, come to my channel for a spell or two. But a special thank you to all my faithful supporters, a special welcome to all new subscribers and curious friends, and a special magical blessing over all of you. Thank you for your time and for listening, for liking and sharing my videos, for subscribing and for hearing my heart and trusting me. I certainly don't take it for granted. Until next time, my lovelies, remember, anything and everything you want is possible by choice and a little bit of magic.